Alright, I am live, so let me share it. Okay, we'll go to Twitter. Tweet. Okay. And I'm here. Okay, there's probably a tiny bit of lag, but that's okay. Just want to say hello to everybody. Alright. Okay. So hi. Let me know if you can hear me okay. I didn't have time to finish I've got some stuff I'm working on editing videos, but I didn't have time to finish the editing, and I thought this might be a little bit more fun doing this live than, you know, trying to get edits done. I'll just put the edited video that I want to do, because I got to get it up on Patreon too. But I had errands. Thank you. I had errands outside of the house today. I had to go pay car taxes. Had to go by the bank. Had to go by my daughters. I got to hug and kiss on my grandbabies. I took some peppermint pie that we had gotten, and we saved half of it to take to my daughter because my grandson loves candy canes. And this pie tasted like candy canes and chocolate. It was delicious. So I had a piece of pie with my grandson. I got to hug on the baby, who will be 4 months old on the 13th of this month. And I went to change her, and my daughter went to go, she uses cloth diapers. And she went to go grab, because the diaper that I grabbed didn't have the insert inside of it. So the baby's sitting on my lap without a diaper on, and sure enough, she peed right on my lap. So I was christened, so my daughter had to give me a pair of sweatpants. She's like, Mom, I got these ones. And I'm like, okay. And then she handed it. She was like, I'm not sure who's I said, those are mine. She started laughing. She said, well, I guess you're getting your pants back. So I decided to go ahead and make me some decaf coffee and work on my pages while I do a live video, because I thought that might be better. And the prompt for the Christmas Chronicles is Gas Lantern, and I chose to do the lantern from The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe from C.S. Lewis. I love that book. I have the whole set of them. I've had them since I was a little kid. They're paperbacks from the 70s. And I put a quote down. And then the other prompt for Create December is mistletoe. So I've drawn mistletoe. So I'm going to be watercoloring these. My husband is getting me an iPad for Christmas. Now I'm going to order it tomorrow. I am trying to debate, because I want to get it for Procreate. I'm trying to figure out whether I want the newest regular iPad with 128 gigabytes, or I want the iPad Air. If I get the iPad Air, I'd have to get the 64 gigabyte one. And I don't know which one would be the best one, because this is going to be my first. I have an Apple phone. It's the 6SX, whatever it is. And I have an old iBook G4. Now the iBook G4 will not update anymore. It has Safari. It won't go up to where we're at now with the OS. I can still write on it. It has Scrivener on it. By the way, I did not win NaNoWriMo, but I did win because NaNoWriMo gave me the exact idea of how I'm going to write my book, the creative book. So I'm working on it. I've been writing. I never did put in the numbers. I got really busy with grandkids and kids and parents and family, and I got sick on top of that. I was like, you know what? This is the first NaNoWriMo in a while that I've lost, but I feel like I won because I've been writing. I got 40 something thousand words. But the important thing was, I was writing, and it was pretty much writing every day or drawing. I was doing it in draft form in my WordPress blog. You'd get the one with more memory, maybe. Would it help with YouTube? Yeah, actually, I'm going to get accessories, which is why I'm debating. I think I'm going to bypass the keyboard and get the Air with, if that's the case, then I get the Air with the 256 gigabytes and get the pen. And then when I get YouTube money towards the end of this month, then I can buy the keyboard, the smart keyboard from Apple, and you can use a Bluetooth mouse with it. And I'll just have to get me a Bluetooth mouse. They have them. Staples has them. Walmart has them. And there's a way you go in the settings and you do it. So I'll just do that. And then I can actually edit videos. I can film on my phone and then transfer them to the iPad. And I will eventually have to get the little port thing or whatever it is so that you can, it's some kind of dongle or port thing or something, so that I can transfer my videos to like an external hard drive kind of thing or whatever. I might just get a thumb drive and put the videos on the thumb drive. That might be better because I know you can use a thumb drive without having to go through all that. So, we're gonna see. I'm trying to figure it out. Dave's got a friend who uses nothing but Apple, and I may be emailing him, and seeing what he thinks. Because the friend who made my computer, my PC that I'm working on now, you can buy a USB memory stick for an iPad too. 1 terabyte's about 40 pounds. Alright, well I might have to do that then. Just to put the videos on once, you know, I know some people who aren't on YouTube, they save some of their stuff, other people don't. The only pictures that I save are usually the ones of my kids. I save stuff for about a month, and then I go through and I get rid of stuff. The only pictures and video that I actually save per period is of my kids, my grandkids, my mom, that kind of stuff, family stuff. The videos that I make, because they're on YouTube, and maybe that's my bad because of all this YouTube stuff, I don't save them outside of them being on YouTube because I just don't, they take up so much damn space, and I don't know why I'd ever need them. You know, once they're on YouTube, you know, I don't know. But I'm just of the mindset of, I do this for fun. It's nice that I get money sometimes from it, and Amazon affiliate links and stuff helps. It helps me buy supplies, but I do this for the fun. You know, I do this because I enjoy sharing, and because when I first got on YouTube looking for stuff, there were no people, hardly any people on YouTube who were my age, who were doing videos about NaNoWriMo or writing, and there were some planner people and some journaling people, but a lot of that was more of the scrapbooking kind of stuff. And although I have scrapbooked, and I'm gonna be making my daughter a scrapbook for my granddaughter. I made her one for Victor. I doubt very seriously if I ever really truly get back into scrapbooking, because I'd rather draw. These journals, these things that I make, eventually they're all going to go to my kids, my grandkids. David, if something happened to me before David would keep some of them. and after he went through them, the more personal ones, then the ones that were more about family and stuff, he'd go ahead and probably give to my daughter, for her and, you know, Victor and my granddaughter. But, you know, I'm debating. I'm thinking though, because as time goes on, eventually I'll be doing better, and eventually I'll have more money. But we have to say some of the money needs to go towards the vehicle. We've got a vehicle to fix, or I would not worry about it and I would spend more money. But I don't see any point, because this is my first time really with it, and I really need to learn and grow as, I guess, a digital artist. That still sounds so weird to me, but I really want to get better at creating printables. And I eventually, by the summer of next year, want to have an Etsy shop where I sell printables, little art printables of my work. Probably the only people who are in the foreseeable future, because I don't have a silhouette or a Cricut or anything like that, and I don't know how to use Photoshop. The only people who would actually have gotten printed versions of my art is if I've sent it to them. Some of my patrons have, some YouTuber. Oh crap! See, I knew that was going to happen. This is what happens when I bind books. And okay, I'm gonna have to tape it, but I'm gonna wait until after I watercolor it, and then I'll tape it. Let's do this. So I'm debating. I got a little tiny sewing machine. You're not going to be able to see it. Let's see. But I got it after I got it, and then I had to go out of the house, because my big sewing machine that was my grandmother's is still in the shed. David's got to clean out the complete shed, so I'm actually going to be able to sew some. Now I've got some stuff in my journal. Little bits of paper and stuff. So I got the red thread. I've got to figure out how to do all this. This is pretty close to the one that Romany has, that she uses in her videos. This is perfect for me to like hem pants and stuff too, until I get this big sewing machine. The big sewing machine is going to go out here, but I don't want to break my big sewing machine either, because that was my grandmother's sewing machine and she's not here anymore. So this little one will be perfect. So, I'm just excited. There's a lot of stuff going. Thank you. There's a lot of stuff going on. If anybody has, I'm not getting an iPad Pro until I'm a pro at this stuff, until I can actually afford to just go buy, you know. And I may not ever get a, you know, if the Air works great, if they keep up with updating the Air. For what I do, I don't know that I need a pro, you know, but, I'll just, and the iPad thing. So I'm just really happy. My patrons are how I afforded to get the little sewing machine. So I can actually sew some inserts together and sew little bits on to stuff, and it makes me happy when I can do stuff. I remember when I first started YouTube, I had this really, really crappy webcam that came from Radio Shack, and that's what I used for the longest time. I didn't have anything else. And then I started using my camera, and I started figuring out how with Movie Maker to edit videos. And I've come such a far, come so far with it, such a long way. And I'm still learning. that I find it amazing. I see people do all this amazing stuff, and I'm like, oh, they need to have continuing ed classes for adults, you know, so we can learn all this technology that our kids are learning in school, and that our grandkids are learning, because otherwise there's no way to keep up with it unless you actually watch YouTube. So I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos about the iPad and the iPad Air. So many of them want to just do the Pro, but there are a lot of people who cannot afford the Pro. I cannot afford the Pro. I wouldn't be able to get the pen or anything else, you know. So that's where I'm at. Okay, I think I like that. I want this to stand out. Now we're going to go back with the eraser. I'm going to let that dry for a minute. But I'm having a good time with this December daily kind of stuff and Vlogmas. I have to get the Christmas trees out of the attic. I have like a 2-foot white one that goes in my craft room. I'm going to be getting it out. You kind of want to do a YouTube channel. You definitely be for grown-ups. You tend to curse a lot. I do too. Well, my ex-husband was in the Navy, and my current husband is a truck driver, and my in-laws are, well, they were half in New York and half here, so they cuss too. My mom says shit and damn and, you know, son of a bitch, but that's about it. My mom hates the F word. Hates it. So I think these are white. I don't know, y'all. What color are the little things on the mistletoe? Are those white? And then they put like a red bow usually. But I think these little things are white. Now where's my rag? Where's my rag? Okay, here's my rag. Yeah, I cuss. And my mom's like, that's not ladylike. Like, yeah, I know. But you know, I mean, they want family-friendly YouTube. Excuse me. And then when people are getting more family-friendly, then they're like, oh no, you're too family-friendly. You're aimed at kids. Which is why when I rearrange my craft table to put the tree on it, I'm also going to be rearranging some of the stuff in the Kallax. Those shelves back there, because I'm going to put all my Snoopy stuff in the red bookcase that you really can't see when I film or anything, so that people don't mistake my channel for, you know, kid friendly. I don't let my grandson watch my videos. Now, I will on occasion when I'm in here working and I'm editing. I will, like, if he wants to see what am I doing, I'll make sure that whenever I show him what I'm editing, that it's something that doesn't have the cussing in it, or that isn't, I make sure it's not like adult content. Not that what I journal about is definitely, you know, but there have been occasions. I did this, I was sick a few years ago with the flu, and I drew the girl with her mouth open with the thermometer, and the way that it looked was a little bit naughty. It really didn't look like a thermometer that was in her mouth. And I finally covered the whole thing up and put the Vicks label on her mouth so that you couldn't tell how her lips were. I was like, oh my God. Because it did look quite naughty. But, you know, hey. I'm sorry for coughing, y'all, but we have been back and forth with cool, hot, cool, hot. I live in South Carolina, and we rarely see snow, but we always see humidity. We pretty much have 2 seasons. We have summer. Well, I'd say 3 seasons. Summer, spring, and fall, but we don't... Our winter is mild compared to people who live up north or people who live places where it snows. We don't, in my 50-something years, I can remember maybe 2 times it snowed at Christmas. It should be interesting to see where the whole YouTube thing lands. I think part of it has to do with how you label your tags. Hello, part of it has to do with, I put all my Snoopy videos where I was drawing Snoopy stuff, even the collab I did with Brie, on unlisted because of this. If you have characters or whatever. Now, like, I've had some copyright things. Like, I used this song a few years ago called Wings in a couple of my videos. Well, at the time, it was free to use for copyright. I got it from the YouTube library. But now, all of a sudden, it's not. And then they wanted to do the copyright so they can't be monetized. Some of those videos happen to be some of the Snoopy ones or the Christmas ones. And I was like, well, you know, that's okay. Those are unlisted for now, too, because of the copyright stuff. But I'm not deleting. I unlisted my videos. I'm not deleting them. Deleting them takes away the views and it hurts your analytics and all of that. I'm not deleting any of my videos. I just put them as unlisted. Now, I don't know if that counts. I mean, people can't just go in and watch my unlisted videos. So, I put them as unlisted for now until we figure out what's going on with this COPPA thing, and the FTC. They have a middle range. But YouTube does not have the middle range. It's, yes, it's for kids, or no, it's not for kids on YouTube. But according to everything on the website for FTC and the COPPA law, all that, they actually do have a mid-range, a general audience. And then I think you're responsible to say, hey, my content's really made for people who are 13 and older. They look like boobs. Or balls. They look more like boobs to me. But this is supposed to be mistletoe, y'all. So, maybe that's why people kiss under the mistletoe? I don't know. But, a lot of people do the berries red. Try eyes, try lower. They do look a little bit like boobs. Those boobs are uneven. But, hey. Okay, so... But I'm having fun with this because I'm getting out of my comfort zone with some of this. Having a junk journal to begin with is so... Sorry, not sorry. Having a junk journal is so not in my comfort zone. I like paper the same size. I'm not a real big fan of, like, I only like certain kinds of scrapbook paper. My problem when I was scrapbooking, like, a long time ago when my kids were younger, is that everything looked the same and it all looked like, Good Housekeeping or Better Home and Gardens. Like, you know, it just was so... cookie cutter, you know. I'd have to draw smaller ones, you know. I don't know, like, that's a C cup. That'd be like maybe a C plus. You know, I need to draw some B's in there somewhere. But everything was so cookie cutter, and that's one of the reasons why I quit scrapbooking too. Now they have so much to choose from as far as paper that's out there in the scrapbook world. You know, I think it's really cool that they have so much now to choose from, and I think it's wonderful because they used to, scrapbook paper was ugh. Seriously, it all looked this. Some of it all looks the same still, but it is better than it used to be. And then everything is so expensive. I mean, I used back even in scrapbooks that I made for our wedding and the scrapbook that I made for my daughter. I used a lot of regular everyday ephemera in mine. Hello, oh, I haven't seen you, Talisha, in forever. How are you doing? So I'm just excited because I'm actually enjoying it. I'm not, I like adding bits to my journal pages. I think I'm going to continue to add bits to my journal pages, but I don't know about making more junk journals. I might make one more. I am enjoying this a lot though. But I might make a few, like, instead of a travel journal, or, you know, I might do some more for like Halloween, or I might do a few junk journals that are more, normal life, kid life, vacation life, you know, that kind of thing, maybe with some kids books, and then make those for my grandkids and use junk journals for my grandkids. You scored a pack of 8 fountain pens on Amazon for $10. Oh my gosh. I'm not buying any pens, no more fountain pens for me. Right now, like I said, we got a vehicle to fix and I'm getting the iPad. So, once I figure out for sure if the Air is what I'm going to do, and I'm pretty sure the Air is what I'm going to do. I'm just trying to see if, I mean, with a thumb drive and with if I could do external storage, then it'd be all right to get the 64 gigabyte, right? Because I can add storage via elsewhere. I don't know. See, that's the confusing part for me. You know, should I go ahead and suck it up and do the one with the 256 gigabytes? Thank you. Or should I, oh, now I'm going to do them nude color. They're really going to look like boobies. Nobody told me whether these berries on these things are red or white or what. So, I don't know. For shits and giggles, should I just do them red? Maybe I should do them red. I don't know. I think mistletoe berries are white though, y'all. I drew them, but the thing I drew them from, like when I went searching, I tried to find an actual illustration of mistletoe, so it was black and white. It was an illustrated thing, and it didn't tell me what colors they were. So you stop using your fountain pens. You're back to ballpoints. I have a fancy ballpoint, y'all. A couple of them. This isn't an expensive one though, and I've been journaling, drawing with ballpoint. This is a Ballograph. Bree told me about these. She's got them in like every color. I just got the one. Do I have any tips or tricks for doing a craft journal? What kind of craft journal? Because maybe we'll do a little, we'll kind of make them fade into red. Now they're going to look more like balls instead of boobs. I feel like I should have like an eggplant and a little peach bottom or something on my screen. Okay, so we want this to be a little orange. We're going to do orange in the middle because it's supposed to be fire. Then I'm going to eventually do in the yellow. We're going to take a tiny bit of red and put it in the middle of that so that it'll blend. And I'm going to take the paint off of here and kind of spread it around some. I want this in the middle. Okay. They are white and they're a red. Fountain pens leave me. Lost my Lamy lid in the entire pilot pen. One of my Ecos, my Eco, whatever it is, the Twisby, it came apart, and I don't know how to fix it. I'm not a fountain pen guru, which is why I don't buy. The most expensive one I have is that Pilot Vanishing Point, but I got mine from Japan, and it has the gold nib, but I don't think it's called the Decimo. I think it's actually called the Vanishing Point. The berries of the mistletoe are white, red, or pinkish in color, depending on the breed of mistletoe. Okay, Well, we're good then. I'll add a tiny bit more red. We'll make them hybrids. And yeah, they look like balls. Okay. Ambi, what kind of craft journaling are you talking about? Too pretty to be. Yeah, I didn't put any little black marks to represent hair. Okay, I don't think I want to go up that far. The light's going to be coming from right here, so okay, I think that, and I'll get a little bit off of there. I don't want it quite that bright of a yellow. I want it to look like it's illuminating. So, my daughter took some pictures of my grands for me. She said, "Mama, don't post them on Facebook like you took the pictures now." I said, "Okay, I won't." She said, "Tell me why you want the pictures." I said, "I want to put them in my journal." She said, "Then I better not see them on Facebook till I put them on Facebook." I was like, "Yes, ma'am. Will do." So, yeah. But I've got them for... okay, let me go back. Do you have any tips or tricks for doing a craft journal? A journal where I can document my crafting and keep up with what I do every day or week. I actually have been working on just that. I'm calling it my creative overflow kind of journal, I think. I've got to get things situated, but that's one of the things I'm going to be doing setting up at the end of this month. Leanne from Creatively Free to Be Me has one that she calls an overflow journal. And so things that extra washi or extra bits from things that she creates or things like that, they end up in that journal, and she calls it an overflow journal. I want pictures and color swatches, and like then when I do this in the journal, if I don't have, I had one, but I kind of, let me, hold on. So this is close to, nope, that's the old Hobonichi. Hold on. Okay. So whenever I create stuff for Patreon, it goes in here. Alright. But what I wanted to start doing, and I do write about stuff that I do, or stuff that I'm thinking about doing. Like this is something, and I've started doing doodles all the way around it. This was where I started. I did a watercolor, and I actually did this, but that's not, when I got to thinking about it, because this is what I painted, and there's the doodles I'm working on for Christmas. But when I got to thinking about it, I was like, I have this journal, and what I want to do, I think, is I'll still create I'll still create the PDFs in here, but what I want to keep track of is whenever I create something like this, I can take a picture of it and I can put it down, and then I can swatch out the colors while I still have it on my in the little thing, and put what colors I used, what materials or anything else that I used, and if I do something else, like if I order something, like, and it comes in, like, I can put the tag or the little thing, or washi or whatever, and I can write where it came from and whether I like it or not like it, like put 5 stars and things like that. You like to crochet and you want to learn to knit and get back into sewing. You want to be able to keep track of your projects and like put how many rows. But yeah. There is, she used to be called Mimi something. Now she's Everyday Awesome. Or something like that. She does knitting and stuff like that, and she does keep, she has like a whole insert devoted to her projects like that, and she actually does that kind of thing. You could actually even put like little tiny pieces of the yarn, or you know, you could use packing tape and put a piece of packing tape over the bits of the yarn so that you could see what colors, all different kinds of things. A piece of the tag from the yarn that came on the bundle of yarn. Yeah, you can make a bullet journal, or a hobby makes a yarn journal. There's all different. You could make an insert or a notebook specifically dedicated to your crafts, and you could separate it, or you could have one little insert per craft or project, or you know, I'm gonna be keeping track of all of mine in one big notebook. I think I haven't made up my mind yet. I'm still. That's something I'm actually working on, trying to figure out how I want to do that, because I work on so many different things that I'd have to have pictures of the things I work in, because there's no way I can put it in my same journal that I'm doing things on. And then if I could put what journal it's in, you know, like in my project journal, I could put what journal that I worked on and where, because I store my journals. Unfortunately, I didn't start labeling them like volume 1 or volume 2, and I'm sorry about the plane, y'all, but I live close to the Air Force Base and they're practicing, and I kind of salute them. It's and at the same time I'm like, why do you always pick when I'm doing a video? So I wouldn't do it planner style. I mean, well, you could actually combine the two. If you have something you want to plan out, like a knitting project or a crocheting project or something, and you need to know how many rows or whatever, you could have like one side of the page where you plan it out, and the other side of the page where it's the after, how it turned out, you know, a picture of it, the different bits of the yarn. I mean, depends on how creative you want to make it. Okay, now I got to figure out how to do the snow. And most of the time, people do their snow with a little tiny bit of a blue and a gray. So I'm going to mix a little bit of the neutral tint with some of my blue. Now I need a little bit of a brown. And then I have a marker. Oh, I bet you that's in the living room. That's okay. We're going to use the Crayola. Okay. Now, cover your ears for a minute. Alright, I'm so sorry. You thought planning because it's tracking. You could do it planning. I mean, whichever way you prefer. If I were doing, when I'm doing creative projects, I tend to have one page be the left brain and one page be the right brain, if that makes sense, because I need to see after I did it and how it turned out and what I did on the in between and plan out what I'm going to do so that I know it's worth doing again later on. If that makes sense. Alright. Now I gotta get some regular tape because I don't want to mess that up. I'd say Bujo because it definitely can go however you need it. Yeah, a bullet journal you can make into whatever you want. I mean, there's no rules, you know. And what rules there are, really. And then I took my finger through it and put a hole through the tape. See, I'm brilliant. And why does it always have to do that? I got the good kind of Scotch tape. It's this, you can actually write on it, and this is supposed to be acid free. It's not supposed to turn yellow. So, alright, so far so good. We've got day 1 and day 2. And I added that here. And I'm gonna, I think, draw the peppermint pie right here. And write about how I went over there and me and Victor had peppermint pie. However, that opens up the world to Happy Planner because you can have a pre-built planner and add in however you can add in note pages. Yeah, you could do. Yeah, you could. I don't, Talisha, there's other people that would tell you all about, I don't know anything. I've never used a Happy Planner. Not really big in the disc, but some people, the way that they use it, they make me want to try the Happy Planner. I should have taken a picture of Victor when we were eating that pie, and I didn't think to take a picture of it because I was so busy, you know. I get caught up in the moment when I'm with them, and then I don't think about, you know, doing, like, sometimes I don't think about taking the pictures. Alright, I think my lantern turned out pretty good. I probably ought to have a little bit more red in there, though. You want it to look kind of like a flame. I think that, I don't know. Okay. Use just for projects because you can remove and control what you keep. Yeah. I have this file effects. Hold on, let me get it. That I thought about doing exactly what she's talking about doing in it. I set it up. See, back in January. Wish list. I have this. This is some of the stuff that was smaller that came out of a different thing, and I put it in here because I was tracking like my favorite supplies and stuff. So I put some of the things in there, and then I was like, no, this stuff made it too thick, and I'm like, no. But I have been thinking about, because of 2020, taking some of this stuff right here, this stuff out. And poking some holes into like, I can glue Tomoe rubber paper onto this paper. You know, I could glue it onto the paper. So I'm just going to take this out. And I'm going to take this out. So I have supplies, my favorite supplies, and I could start doing things like this when it's thin, you know. And then I could do on here notes about things, and then this would be supplies. So this could be projects or whatever. I don't know, but I've been thinking about, because this is ring bound, and I like the idea of tracking my supplies and having my favorite supplies, my favorite brands, my projects. Like, sometimes when I use things, like sometimes you buy things for projects, you know, like this junk journal. I have little bits of scraps that I could actually include somewhere. But I don't want this thing is small, so I wouldn't want to bulk it up too much. So I'd have to cut like a little piece, but I could cut like a little piece of the felt, you know, and a little piece of this, because this is the stocking it came from. And I could have it on there, and then when this is full, I could band it up and put like a label on it, put an envelope if I needed to, one of those big envelopes, where I talk about the junk journal project. You know, I think that would be cool. That's something I've been thinking about doing. I don't know. I've been so busy with the junk journal and so busy trying to get this room clean so I can do the tree and all that. I've been trying to figure out. So I'm glad that she asked that question. Okay. The Omni Journal, yeah. I still do. I don't do my planning and journaling together for my Document My Life journal, but I do add journaling into my planning for my bullet journal. I add all kinds of stuff into my bullet journal, but I don't like planning in my actual art journal. What is a good journal for goal setting? You've seen that you have some fill in the question to plan and achieve goals. Oh, swatches and then it's yeah, exactly. Okay. You know, I tried the Miracle Morning. I tried the Cultivate What Matters. There are parts from the Cultivate What Matters that I like, but then there are parts that I don't really care for. Some of it seems kind of ridiculous to me. But some of it I really, really like. Now they've switched it up for this coming year, but it's so expensive. I got the one for 6 months, so it was like half the price. But I cannot see paying $60 for this thing. I can take the questions that I like from it, set it up in the month. I might do that for January. I'm not going to do it for December because I'm too busy in December to even give a hoo-hoo about all of that. So let's see if I can do this. We'll transition, and then if I need to, I can go back. Okay. Alright, and I'm going to cut that lamp off because that's right in my face. And now I've got this. I've had a number of different goal things. There's other ones too. The Morning Sidekick Journal, and this has a lot of good daily challenge questions in it. I got it used Nobody had actually even written in it, and I got it for like pretty cheap. But the thing with goals, you can watch all different kinds of people's videos and all different kinds of people's questions. But for me, what works the best is to figure out what my big thing is for the different areas of my life. Like for home, I'll do the top 3 projects for home that are big things that we want to do. And then I'll start with like a big brain dump, and I'll write down every single thing I need to do. And then when I go, and then for every area, like I'll just spill it all out. And then I kind of divvy it up into the different areas of my life, which is something I've been working on, and I can do a video on it if y'all want. Here we go. Okay, so my 2020, let's go back so you can see what I'm doing, because I've already transitioned. Excuse me. Okay. My 2020 ideas and thoughts. What motivates and inspires me. And I have top 5 goals, dreams, things. These are the list of things that inspire and motivate me. Some of them. And then I started thinking about growth in different areas. What are things I want to achieve. This one says be fit, healthy. You know, I've got number 4. And then I started writing down words that were appealing to me, that were on my mind about my word for next year. It's planning, maybe draw your day, some journaling, some pictures. It's your own hand planning creativity, however you separate sketchbooks and journals. Yeah. So I'm brain dumping right now. I mean, I'm just writing down, let's see, there's a page back here too, I think. Like this is something, where did I go? This is something I'm working on. Work on creative, personal development, spiritual journals. Sometimes I feel like I need a little help, a hand. Because I know that some of what I'm doing, where's the other page? Is it in the other? It might be in the other journal. Ideas for Christmas doodles. This is, my bullet journal is very much like an omni journal. Yes, and I am actually doing mind, body, soul, or spirit. I'm also doing work, home, and then I've got one that says family, and I include David in the family part. Because we've got some home projects, and I add the vehicles into the home projects. And then like work, I divvy up into like, what do I want to do with YouTube, with Patreon, with my blog? Am I going to really get back to blogging? Because I miss it, and I really, really miss it. And then, so we have this, which I set this up for this very thing that we're talking about right here. So this is my review and reflect thing for November. And this is kind of where, once I get things out, I usually use a blank pad of paper or a composition notebook or something. And I'll write everything out. And then I divvy it up, and then that's when I start figuring out, like, I haven't finished this. I need to. I haven't even started YouTube. So creative planning in a bullet journal. That's one of the things I'm going to be doing a video about. I even wrote down supplies and things for it. But that's what I'm doing. And like, I've got this journal back here that is for the spiritual stuff. I created it, and this is for personal development, spiritual, and different things like that. And yeah, so I've got all kinds of things, but I actually went back to using a traveler's notebook, because this is my bullet journal. And this is kind of where I start out, but I don't want to, these are B6 size. And I'll use a composition notebook, or I have a pad of paper. And I usually just write it down all on a pad of paper. I dump it all out, get it all out, and then start doing like a mind map of things. But I have been thinking about doing the video for this. It's probably going to have to be a 2-part video though, because I think I did one before, but it was on like writing novels, because I do the same thing whenever I have a project or when I'm working on a book. I brain dump or mind spill or whatever, brain spill, pen sieve, whatever you want to call it. I get everything off of my brain and put it on paper. And then I take the important parts and I'll highlight or underline or circle or whatever. Sometimes I do it in a mind map form. Like I'll have like 2 or 3 pieces of paper. Yeah, I don't do them every day. As a matter of fact, this is morning pages. That's morning pages. This is morning pages. That's morning pages. I actually have a bit of morning pages right here where it continued. This is a tiny bit of morning pages right here. Sometimes it's a paragraph, sometimes it's 2 or 3 pages, sometimes it's 1 page, it's whatever I need. I do it on a need basis. I do evening pages sometimes too. Like but they're different. Like in the morning pages, I have a lot of things on my mind and I get them off of my mind and put them on paper. And the evening, I'm just sort of, this is how I think today went. This is what I thought went really well, and I give myself a pat on the back. And then if it's something that didn't go very well, then I talk about why I think it didn't go well and what I could do to make it better the next time. I try not to be negative. I try to be, I need to be self-critical. I need to say, hey, you didn't do this. This sucked. Next time, next time make sure you have clean water, or next time make sure that, the camera's in the right, and you got the right lighting or whatever. I try to be constructive with my self-criticism. You were thinking about restarting the Artist Way. The Artist Way really helped me. It took me 3 times to really get into it. I started finding water again, and that's it. I got through like 3 weeks of it and was like, yeah, I can't do it. I pick them up and I read like a chapter, and I still am walking and doing morning pages. I think a lot of what she says is really helpful, and if you can get through it, it's helpful. But what you can do, if it's hard for you, is do each section per month. There are 12 things in it. You could make one of those things for each month instead of doing it every day for 12 weeks. You could actually do it for 12 months and do 1 section per month, because depending on what your life is like, I think you have to do things in a way that works for you. There are other people who can do things, but now that my dad's died and I have to help my mom, and I've got 2 grandkids and my daughter. My son lives with my mom, but my son works a lot, and David's parents are elderly. We've got a house that constantly needs things that need to be fixed. We've got vehicles that need to be fixed. We've got a lot going on in our little lives. So, I think what makes sense to me is to do things at your own pace in a way that really will work for you. And I found that for some things, maybe it's better if I break that project down into something that seems feasible for my life. And the 12 months, I thought about maybe doing Finding Water next year and doing it in exactly the way that I'm telling you about doing the Artist Way. Is taking each section and divvying it up. That first section for the first month, for January. That second section for February. That way I'm working on things, and I'm doing some of the things that are important that you do every day. Like some kind of writing. I think it's important to do some kind of journaling if you need to do it. Not everybody wants to journal. My husband doesn't journal at all. My daughter journals when she sees fit, but most of her journaling would actually be art. it would be some kind of drawing or sketching or doodling. That's her journaling. You know, that's how, but it's different for everybody. But I've been written journaling my whole entire life, what feels like, since I was 7. And I can't imagine a day without it. It can be overwhelming, which is why I think sometimes some of those projects are good if you can break them down per month, you know? And since it's a 12-week program, instead of 12 weeks, make it 12 months. You've got all of 2020 to do the whole thing. You know, 12 months is much more doable. To me, I was thinking, you know, this the second time or third time I tried to do Finding Water. I cannot do it in 12 weeks. I just cannot. So I put it down. It's to the side. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to start that January 1st. And January is going to be the first section. February will be the second section. So instead of week 2, it'll be month 2. So that's what I'm doing. You've had the book for years and did an artist date once, but you journal daily. It keeps you saying, yeah, I journal daily. But what she talks about is morning pages. I only do sometimes for like 10 minutes in the morning. So that's what I said. I mean, I've got morning pages in here. This is morning pages. Let's see. This is morning pages. This is morning pages continued. That's the coffee chat. Yeah, so sometimes I do. I've got a lot more in the other journal. But I think some of her ideas are really, really great. I really love, and the first time I did it, and I did it through the 12-week program, I was like, oh my God, Jess, I did it. Yes, I did it. Woohoo! I was all proud of myself, patting myself on the back. I'm like, hell yeah, I can do this. And it was really cool. But it did take me 3 times before I could get it. So, DMV, car taxes, Maria's, peppermint pie, and I might have to draw in watercolor a baby's diaper for today, because the baby I got christened. The green. So, see it, morning pages is right here. But I don't always do them in here. I actually sometimes will just do them on a piece of paper. Because it's more of like a brain dump. And I got outside. Okay, so how did I sleep? I've got to go get the markers. The markers are in the living room, of course. So I did that. The doctor had an emergency, so I've got to at 2:45. And I haven't done that. So that might... So, has anybody picked their word of the year yet? And is anybody having as much trouble? Confidence is one of the things that's really appealing to me. This right here might be my word for next year. Flow is one of the ones that... I also like... vision, but I don't know. So does anybody know what their word for next year is going to be? And if so, why? You know? One of the things that's held me back is self-doubt, second-guessing myself, fear and anxiety. And confidence is something I need to really build on. And I need to build on it deep inside. So I need to do some deep inner work on some of the things that are my triggers for some of that. I guess some people would call it shadow work. Some people would call it, By the way, your lamp drawing with the trees was really pretty. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I like the they have the lantern lamp post, from the movie The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe looks different than the actual lamp from the book. This looks more like the lamp from the book instead of the lamp from the movie The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. So this was less complicated too. Mindfulness, maybe. Authentic, being true to who you are. Finish home projects, creative things. Oh, finish is a good one too. I could definitely use the word finish. Okay, this year my word was intuition. Last year my word was brave. The year before that, I think this year my phrase was inner compass and my word was intuition. Last year my word was brave. Before that I did positivity. And then after positivity, what was the one word? I'm missing a word. Because this will be my 5th year doing it. Queen inspired by Joanna DeVoe, because you need to take accountability and understand you're in control of your life, and it's about running my life from a place of power. Oh, I like that, Talisha. You heard this podcast where they were talking about when you get anxious, feel doubtful, insecure, that you should stop and pay attention to that feeling. Be mindful of it, be aware of it, then it can help. Yeah. Pause was one I didn't write down. I'm trying to think of what the word was a year before. It was positivity, and then it was bloom. What was it? Thrive. Thrive was the word for 2016. And 2015 was positivity. Or positive. So I want because I have some goals that I really want to do next year. Next year I want to open the Etsy store and do printables if I can. Where people can buy the printables and print them themselves of the things that I draw. And then I also want to do the course on creative journaling, creative planning, creative journaling. And then I want to finish writing my book on creative journaling. When I say journaling, I am a planner from a journalist point of view, perspective. When I think about planning, I think about a calendar and a running to-do list. That's pretty much my plan. That's how I plan, is a calendar and a running to-do list. I've started doing some of this because it does break things down. I still have my running to-do list. So this I'm working on. I've got it almost finished. Some of these I've got that finished. I just have to do the voiceover to it. Some of these things, that one's done. So I do break it up. But when I plan, here's my to-do list. Okay. So I don't have every single to do because I have some of them, but the big ones, like I don't break them down until I get to the weekly thing. And then I'll break them down. The masterclass writing classes, yeah. I kind of want to do like I would like to take one of those too. I can't remember who it was. They've had so many different writers. James Patterson did it. Neil Gaiman, I think, did it. Who was the other person that did it? Like, quite a few of them. But, yeah. So, this is my, yeah. So, this was my day yesterday. And I have yet to make it to the attic. So David said he'd help me to do that tomorrow before he goes to work. And the only reason that I need him to help is since my shoulders, since I had all that trouble with my shoulders, we have it's this board and it's extremely insulated. It's insulated on the front and the back. And it's really heavy that you have to lift up and move to get into our attic. I used to have no trouble moving it, but since I hurt my shoulders really bad, it hurts me to move it now. So, you know, I mean, I could put the flashlight in my pocket and move it, you know, and go on up there. And if my shoulder's feeling good tomorrow, then I may do it by myself tomorrow. I don't know. Margaret Atwood. Yeah, that was the other. I couldn't think of who. So, I didn't even do a page today. I haven't even done a page today because I had my weekly and I was busy and I still had things I needed to do from Sunday. And so I don't even have a to-do page for today. So I'm probably just going to write out what I got done, and then that'll be that. And then I'll move on to the next page. I'm not sweating all the small stuff anymore. I used to try to like fill it in and everything, and now, you know, I'm just doing what I need to do. And I liked reading Ryder Carroll's bullet journal book, reading the book, and actually doing it much more functional, you know, than, and stuff. It really helped me. I'm starting a new bullet journal for January. I'm also using the Hobonichi Cousin. The Hobonichi Cousin is probably going to be my go-to for like the actual planning of the parts. And then this is going to be this kind of stuff. My bullet journal is going to be this kind of stuff. So I probably won't have as much anymore as far, like, I don't know if I may do a calendar because I like them. But I keep a calendar at my desk, and right on the wall in front of my desk. I keep a calendar. So, I don't know. But I like having a calendar. This is how my brain works. A calendar, to-do list. Calendar, to-do list. That's how it works. But I have some small calendars I might start putting in my bullet journal, pasting them in, and then, you know, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. You're very late. Yeah, I'm about to get off. But I actually did some journaling with me, and we talked about some projects and management and all kinds of stuff. And I think I figured out, thanks to a question that someone asked, how I'm going to do some things. I'm going to get this back out and do some stuff. And then, yeah. January is full of promise for a lot of us. I don't do resolutions anymore. I do goals, and I base my goals off of priorities in different areas of my life. And I find that the less I overwhelm myself, the better. But the more I can hold myself accountable, the better. You got to get going. Well, I got to get going too. I've been on here for almost an hour and a half. So, y'all can watch the replay. And for those of you who are watching the replay, thank you so much for checking out the video. Make sure to hit the notification bell, to hit subscribe and the notification bell. I got ahead of myself, so that you get notified when I have videos out. And if you can, please hit the thumbs up. It really helps my channel. And I will see y'all again really soon. It's Vlogmas, so you should have a video pretty much every day. I'm not sure about the weekends, but every day. Y'all have a good one. Thanks, y'all. Bye.